Hello to my fellow teachers at Russell County High School. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on exporting a class roster out of Infinite Campus and using Google Sheets to prepare that list of students to quickly import into ZipGrade. All right, so I'm going to start with signing into Infinite Campus. I'm going to choose my class by going directly to Reports Gradebook on the left side. I'm going to make sure I've chosen the correct class, and I'm going to do my fourth period or fourth block class. The file format is going to be set at comma separated. That's the default setting. And I have to have at least one assignment created already, and I do, since this is the early in the school year. I've got an assignment already. So you have to have at least one assignment checked, and if you have several assignments, I recommend you would uncheck all of those and just choose one. Okay, so when I'm ready, I click Generate Report. Okay, and it is going to download a CSV file, which the icon will look like an Excel spreadsheet file. I'm on a Mac, so it's going to go to my downloads folder. I'm using the Chrome browser, so it'll show me at the bottom of my browser my recent downloads. On Windows, it's also going to go to your downloads folder. Okay, so I'm going to next go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to select New, File Upload. And I'm going to find that file in my downloads folder, and it's going to upload it to my drive. Okay, so in this form, it's made it a Google Doc, and I want it to open as a Google Sheet. You see the blue icon for a Google Doc, but I want to open it in Google Sheets. So I'll right click and choose Open with Google Sheets. And so now we're almost getting somewhere. I'm going to stretch out column A just to see a little bit better. My assignment is listed here in column B, and I don't even need that, so I'm going to right click and delete that column. I'm going to delete row number 2 that I don't need, but I will need row 1, and I'm going to make a few headers here that I'm going to end up shuffling around, but let's just do first name, last name, ID for their ID number that you're going to use in ZipGrade, and class name. All right. What we're going to do next is going to use a Google Sheet add-on. And if you haven't installed this yet, you'll need to download an add-on called Power Tools. All right. In Power Tools, I'm going to choose Split. Now what this is going to do is going to take this cell where I have a student's last name, comma, first name, middle initial, and then their full 10-digit student ID. ZipGrade can't handle a 10-digit student ID in a 50-question sheet, which is very common bubble sheet to use. So I shorten my student ID numbers to their last 5 digits. Okay. So what we'll do here under Power Tools options on the right side is I'm going to leave these default settings checked. That's fine. But I'm actually going to highlight the list of students and nothing else. Okay, so I have 30 students in this list, and I'm going to click Split. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that group and it's going to separate it. Now we see there's a first name, jump over here is a last name. They're in the wrong spot, so I'm going to move them. And then there's just an ID number with the middle initial stuck in there. We're going to get rid of a lot of that. So quickly, I will take my first name list and move it to the correct spot. You know, there's different orders that this could be done in, but I'm just going to move my last names also into the correct column. And I've got an ID column. I can get rid of column A now. I need to add my class name. And in this case, I'm going to call it fourth SS3 for Social Studies 3. I can type that once, copy it, and then I can paste it in the rest of the columns because I do want that in each column or for each student because ZipGrade is going to need that. Okay, so now let's work on breaking down these ID numbers into the last 5 digits, as well as getting rid of the middle initial that is hanging in there and the number sign as well. I'm going to go to the split option. It's going to split the contents of those cells. I'll choose split by position. Okay, and so under that option, I see a dotted line that moves with my mouse as I just hover over. And I'm going to put it inside those last 5 digits and click to set the point. And there'll be a red mark there. When I'm ready, I'll just click split. But if I look over here, I see an error in cell C18. The student doesn't have a middle initial, so it has shifted everything over to the left just a little. So I'm going to put in a fake middle initial and 1 space bar hit. Better make it a capital letter so its space is just right. Okay. And I'll have to go back and highlight this list again. So that's just something to watch for in case you have a student without a middle initial. You want to make sure that all the characters are lined up just right. Okay, so now I've got my red marker splitting off the last 5 digits of that cell, and I hit split. It's going to take a moment to work. And what it has done, it's divided column C into a D and E. The D has the first several digits, but the E has the last 5 digits. So at this point, I'm going to take my ID label and I'm going to move it over where I actually want it. And then I'm going to delete column C and D. Okay, so I'm pretty much where I want to be for ZipGrade import at this point. The only thing here, you'll notice this student in C24 only has 4 digits. That's because her leading digit there would have been a 0, and it just took it away. If you put the 0 in, that's fine, but ZipGrade is going to ignore that leading 0 and give that student just a 4-digit ID number. And that's fine as long as no other student has that exact ID number inside your ZipGrade account. And that would be pretty rare. Okay, so I'm basically finished here with what I want to do in Sheets. So I am going to go to File, Download As, because I need a file outside of Sheets that ZipGrade can use to import. So I go in my sheet, I go to File, Download As, and I will choose comma separated values. Okay, it is putting that in my downloads folder in Windows or Mac, and now I can close my sheet. It's going to keep it in my drive until I delete it. Let me just clean up. I'm going to get rid of the Word document version. And for now, I will keep this extract, this CSV file. All right, let's go to ZipGrade and sign into your ZipGrade account. And you will want to go to the Students section. Okay, if you look at the list here, the sample list of mine, you can see I've already imported 2 sets of students, two classes full of students. Okay, so I have this third block still to add. So my option will be import students from CSV. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose the file, which is the one that I just downloaded from my Sheets. It's my most recent download right there. Okay. Now, my sheet has a header row. At the very first row, I've got my column names. So it does have a header row, and I'm going to check that, and then click Upload. Okay. Before I'm finished, I've got some field mapping to do just to make sure that ZipGrade's fields match my fields from my sheet. So ZipGrade ID is going to be ID. That's the column I headed in my sheet. First name is the same, first name. You just have to match these up. Last name, last name. And class, class name. External ID is something we don't need, so I just leave that empty. And finish import. Okay, it's giving me a message that it has created 30 new students added to ZipGrade. I choose Return to Students, and I can sort by class because I want to see my fourth class that's just been added and make sure everything looks okay. I've got everybody with a 5-digit ZipGrade ID except the one student that had the leading 0, and I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so what I like about this is I can download bubble sheets that already have the students' names and ID numbers printed and bubbled in. And I'll show you what that looks like if you've never seen it. You go up to Classes. I've still got some classes from last year I need to remove, but the class I just created was 4th period or 4th block, Social Studies 3. I go all the way to the end choice here under Answer Sheet Packets, and I'm going to click that download button. They're taking a test tomorrow actually, so I'm going to give that a name, which is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and name it. I'm going to call it SS3 Chapter 19 and 20 Test. And I typically use the 50 question form. So I'm going to hit that button. And it is downloading a PDF version of an answer sheet pack. I can open it directly from my Chrome browser. And here you go. So it's got in alphabetical order. It's got each student's name already filled in. Their ID number is already bubbled. And all I need to do is send this to the printer. So you can see here alphabetically it's got every student. I can send it to the printer or copier, and it's going to print, in this case, 30 sheets that I will hand out directly to each kid, and they'll already have their name and ID bubbled in there. So they don't have to remember their ID this way. You can definitely read the or you don't have any handwriting to decipher. And so it puts you off to a really good start with your ZipGrade bubble sheets. Email me, please, if you have any questions. And I'll be happy to help you do this too. Thank you.